All right, welcome everybody. This is the Release 43 live stream. We just unmuted. We were talking amongst ourselves, a little bit of last minute strategy on what we wanted to show you today here. But I've got with me, you guys know, Boss Por. That's what you go by in the game. The murderer of all players in New Britannia. You've slaughtered at least once everybody, I think.
I think I have the most deaths, actually.
The most deaths. Oh, it's the other way around.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I get confused on that. I know it's me who dies a lot every time I have the PvP flag on, or just simply fighting anything. Like these trolls right now. What's going on here? What am I seeing? We're actually in Diamond Fields where the dance party was, and this is like the aftermath of it.
I think Chris showed up. That looks like Chris showed up to the dance party.
Nice. Well, now we're dancing with some trolls here, some obsidian trolls it looks like. So what we have every release is we have a community-created dance party that is in any number of scenes, usually a player-owned town like Diamond Fields right now. And they were dancing from like 2 o'clock Central Time to 4 o'clock, and right now it's a little after 4, and we're seeing a little bit of craziness afterwards. Our programmer, Chris Spears, looks like he is spawning a bunch of random stuff in the scene. Something's happening anyway. So let us know, guys, if you can hear us okay, if everything sounds good, and the video of the trolls, I think they may be getting the upper hand of the players. I'm not sure which way it's going right now. But let us know what you think. We're just getting started here. We've got a lot of cool stuff to show you today. It's a little bit special. We're gonna run through this really fast. So as far as news and stuff, I'm gonna have Star, who's gonna come in a minute, handle a lot of that. But I just wanted to mention thank you, community, for being awesome in your patience for Release 43 as we were focusing a lot on performance, a lot on scene improvements and polish, some new scenes. There's a lot of great stuff in the weekly update. Star will be mentioning a little bit of that, but we've got a lot of it in the weekly update that it should go out a couple of hours after this live stream. It's going to be a little later than normal. The email as well. Watch for that. There's a lot of cool stuff, not just in the game stuff, but also out of the game events and things too that you're going to want to watch for. So if you are just tuning in, this is our Portalarium's Shroud of the Avatar community live stream. We have these just about every Friday. Now next week we have the Lord British Birthday Bash Telethon on Thursday. Yes, Thursday. Next week's a little bit...
Whenever the 6th.
Yeah, the 6th. It's a little bit crazy next week because we have... Well, Monday is here at the office. Tuesday is 4th of July, which is the Lord British's birthday. That's the actual birthday. We are celebrating on the 6th, but his actual birthday is on the 4th. And I was a little worried about that when I was promoting it. I was like, did I make that clear or not? And then we have really cool attendance, a booth 323 at RTX Expo. This other after the Lord British Birthday Bash Telethon. Anyway, I'm giving all this news away. I'm so excited about it. So I'm going to move on to just a couple of community events that I just want to mention really quick. And then we'll get to the scene tour. We're going to have 3 developers, starting with Travis here, who's going to show a little bit of what he's working on. If you want to know what we're covering for the 3 developers, we've got Travis here on Isle Storms before and after polish, Chris Seawolf on Graph Gem Mines, and then to finish it off, Scotty Jones. You guys know Scotty from Telethons, and he's been on some of these live streams before. He's going to show a little bit of the Crypt of the Avatar. All these 3 scenes have are now in the game, but also are in the last week's update, number 233. These go out every Friday, so just check back in the news section of the website or on social as well. Scroll back, find number 233. You'll see a little bit of information on all these scenes and what we're going to be talking about. Just covering a lot of the really cool stuff in Release 43 here that we have for you that went live yesterday. And as you can see here, players are having a really good time. Are you going to zoom around? There we go. Then we got Travis here at the helm of, I believe this is where the dance, oh, we got some stragglers on the dance party here. So the dance party at the top of this really beautiful city home, this elven city home, and it's a perfect top for the, I actually had this home, I have this home technically in a hometown still,
It's
and
huge.
I had a dance party floor decorated like this, very similar. In fact, when I logged in here, I thought, oh, wait, I'm at my house. But well, there was an accident, I'll say, and unfortunately it's not there anymore. It's a very sad story. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, they did a good job. This is a huge
Yeah, this is
test.
great. This is amazing.
I
So
feel
if
like
you're
it's
just
fine.
getting the game or you're in the game right now, jump into Diamond Fields. Go over to Diamond Fields, find Barrick myself. I'm in the game right now. Although I am, oh, you did enable offline ghost. Yeah, you're on ghost mode. So you can't see me. We have a GM tool where we can make ourselves invisible so we're not attacked when we need to investigate something. But right now, okay, thank you for non-PvP. And we've got a couple of people still dancing here. Alright, so we've got, besides our 43 going live, and the dance party right now that's finishing up, we also have Prism's Putt Putt Golf event on June 30th. That is today.
I think there were some issues with the dust ball, so they may be...
Is that today?
What
day are we on here?
Today's the 30th.
It is 30th. Wow, Friday 30th. Okay, so it's on today. It's going on right now. There's multiple times throughout the day, and I believe they've already started that event. Check the community event calendar on the website for details on what's going on there. And also R43 Welcome Quest tomorrow in Owl's Head. You're going to want to participate in that quest festival. It's really cool. Check the community event calendar for that one as well. A bunch of events listed there. If it's not in the community event calendar, it's in the community event forum posts in the now fresh R43 community event section of the forums. Just go in there, dig around, explore a little bit, you'll find it. It's really a really great place where a lot of people are adding R43 events, and I hear some plans for R44 events already.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get started here. We've got 3 developers, and I want to bring in Star yet, so I'm going to stop talking, and I'm going to go get Star, and you can just, like, tour around and do your thing while Star is talking about his stuff. I'll step out of the way, and then when he's done, we can just move right on into, I think you're going to use Unity in that case. I had the game up, but we can close the game after you're done.
It should be live, the changes. Either one
Or
works.
that, yeah, cool, whatever. Okay, I'll be right back.
I was gonna kill this, but I think you guys got it.
Why don't you move over to, well, he needs the paper anyway, I don't care where, whichever seat you want. I'm just going to go to the side here.
I don't know how next works.
Hello! It's me again. Oh my gosh, what is happening?
We're in Diamond Fields right now.
Oh, there's a troll.
Yeah, this is the aftermath of the dance party.
What? Was the troll dancing?
It was, he missed it.
Oh, I missed it. Alright, so I'm supposed to read off a bunch of news in my best Ron Burgundy Scotch. Oh, warning, alcohol. Scotch. San Diego.
San Diego.
San Diegans. City of Angels. Oh no, that's Los Angeles. Alright, play release 43 now. Do it now, everyone. If you are not doing it, do it now.
Log in,
I'm supposed to say that. Play release 43. We released it apparently yesterday and affected a large segment of our players.
Yeah,
hopefully everyone who patched and played. In case you didn't know, release 43 went live yesterday. It included a bunch of stuff. The most important things, as I talked about last week, are the frame rate improvements. They are amazing. Makes the game way more playable. It is great. It is a good thing. You should try it out. Makes the game way better. We also added like a ton of new maps and polished a bunch of existing maps. Travis here had a hand in that. Thank you, Travis. He did Boreas Colossus. He also polished Isle of Storms,
which we're going to show a little bit later.
Yeah, a lot of maps.
Yeah, so we touched a lot of maps, and they are beautiful, amazing. Boreas is particularly frustrating and clever at the same time. So you will be frustrated. Do it. All right. Seed Invest, you still have a chance to invest in our future. Do it. Check it out.
And all of these news items are going to be in the weekly update today, for the most part.
All of them will be in our weekly update, so you should read that as well.
A bunch of stuff
All
in there.
gazillion pages of it. It's going to be super long and has lots of great stuff. You should read it all, just like you read every single line of our release instructions. I know all of you do it. Thank you. We love you for it. Just like you read every single line of the quarterly schedule update. Actually, that one's pretty short, so Maybe you do read that one.
Yeah, even I read that one.
Yeah. All right. It came out yesterday along with the release. So in case you were so busy enjoying the amazing frame rate with the release, you may have missed the fact that we released our third quarter schedule update where we talk about all sorts of cool stuff that's coming up in the next quarter. So you should check that out. It's got some great highlights. As you know, we had to push Rent because we wanted to have some more time to test it and add some more features like door permissions. So that's going to be coming up next release. But there's a bunch of other stuff like different rules for spawning and offline versus online. We're also going to have, we're finally going to have looking for group. The Norgard area is going to have its own unique wearables. And more new scenes. The Path of the Oracle, that's going to continue to expand. The final Colossus map, which Travis is going to be working on, that's going to be the Granus Colossus map. That's going to go live. And High Vale Outskirts, the last of the Outskirts maps, that's going to go live too. And yeah, so there's a bunch of cool stuff coming up in the third quarter.
Oh, before we go on, I have to mention, I forgot. Prizings, every single live stream we do prizes. We give away prizes, and we got some new stuff in the store that was just added this morning, in fact, some of it. So check that out, and then we're going to give away some of that just a little bit later, so stick around for the prizing.
All right, prize is. All right, speaking of free stuff like prizes, we have a free trial that starts Monday. So if you have friends who want to try out the game, we're going to be testing out our free trial system for the fourth time. Fourth time's a charm, as they say. Do they say that? I don't think that.
As you go in number, it becomes increasingly charming.
So that'll be going live. And it's going to be running for a little over 3 weeks.
This is our longest one then.
This will be our longest. No, it's about the same time. That's about the same time that the last one ran. We actually ran the other one for about 3 weeks because we ran it over the telethon.
Well, I'm going to announce it like 4 minutes earlier.
Okay.
And then we can.
Let's pretend it's the longest one.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes.
I like that sound.
Okay. Because we like to play pretend. All right. And another super exciting thing, and if you saw the live stream, I get very excited when we go to trade shows. I was super excited about Comic-Con. I'm also super excited because we are going back to RTX, also known as Rooster Teeth Expo, and we have a long history with Rooster Teeth. In fact, this project was announced on the Rooster Teeth show. No one had ever heard the words Shroud of the Avatar until Richard announced it on Rooster Teeth. So that same year, 2013, we first did a live demo of Shroud of the Avatar, and then the next year we showed on the show floor, and we haven't unfortunately been back since, but I'm excited to say we are going to be back, booth 323, right behind the Origin booth, not too far from Alienware, so near some of our hardware partners. And so come see us if you're in Austin. We're going to be at Rooster Teeth. We're going to be giving out challenge coins. We're going to be giving out cards to tell people about the free trial. Richard will be there. I'll be there. Various other team members will be there. It's going to be great. And speaking of our hardware partners, we've got a great promotion going on right now with Alienware. If you're a member of the Alienware Arena community, you can win a Steam key. So join the Alienware community, get active, and you can win a Steam key.
That's a great community. They got a lot of great events going on all the time, so it's very nice that they were able to get us in there.
Yeah. And speaking of Lord British, whose birthday is next week, he created a special party supplies list, and that's the theme of our weekend flash sale. And it's all the things you need for a party. So it is fireworks, it is emotes, it is a pirate ship, and you're like, wait a minute, party. What is it? Why is Party Supplies a pirate ship? Well, true story. Richard's wedding party happened on a pirate ship on the River Seine in Paris. I was there. This really happened. So we were like, well, then we should put the pirate ships on sale. In addition, we also are putting the Movember Make a Difference items, which were my mustache and Richard's rat tail and the cloth map, which are all now part of a new section in the Make a Difference store. Those are also on sale this weekend, along with all those other things, games and emotes and music, all the things you need for a party. So those are the things that are on sale this weekend. And a reminder, all the things that we're expiring, which are also kind of Lord British, his favorite things and party things, those things are still on sale. And again, Lord British, it's his birthday, so we're having our telethon next Thursday. Don't miss it. We have a bunch of new store content that came live. So mailboxes, the bulletin board, the Assassin's Armor, if you haven't seen it, it's super cool. Thank you, community member Majoria, who sent us the original art that we based it on. It's super cool. It's very neat. And like I've said, we have that new section in the Make a Difference of the Movember. And reminder, we're going to be at Comic-Con. We got not one panel, but two panels at Comic-Con. Just a little excited. I can't wait. Oh my God, it's Comic-Con. Okay, and last but not least, 5 questions. I need a little button I can press that is like dun dun dun.
Question time.
5 questions.
Let's actually do a prize here before you get started on that.
Okay.
We'll give people time to
Sure.
check in for the prize. Right. So we've got new items here, folks. We've actually toned this down from 2 copies of each to just 1 because we have more individual items, and I wanted to get at least a few of these to you guys today. So let's start with since we've mentioned Lord British, the 2017 Replenishing Lord British birthday cake.
Yes.
So check that out in the add-on store. All these items that we're giving away today are in the add-on store if you want to look and see, what does it look like? So type exclamation, this is for Discord and Twitch, type exclamation birthday. And we'll give that a few minutes.
All right. So these questions actually come from the list of questions all the way back from our summer telethon. These are the list of questions that we didn't have time to answer, which, believe it or not, I'm actually going to start to try to answer starting this weekend, working into next week. I know that there was a little angst that we didn't get to answer them, the telethon. My apologies. As some of you may know, I was actually very sick the 2 weeks leading up to the telethon, all the way into the telethon. If you watch the telethon, I actually attended the first few hours of the telethon from my bed. I was actually in bed.
It's a very nice bed.
Thank you. We're actually, one of the community members wants us to make that an actual item in the bed. In the game. But that means I did not get to those questions like I normally do. So I'm going to start working on that now because I'm now finally caught up on all my tasks since I got back. But we actually pulled 5 questions from that list, and those are the ones we're answering today. So Liz the Wiz asks, will we ever open the QA server on a more permanent basis to help find bugs sooner? Possibly. We have discussed that in the past, and the challenge being that the dev version that we have internally is sometimes so unstable that we're not sure it would actually be worth it. But maybe we have considered that, so there is that possibility. Thanks for reminding us, and maybe. Hand Lure, I think I pronounced that correct, asked if we were getting a dwarf race. No current plans to get a dwarf race. No dwarves were in the current lore. If you read the Sword of Midras, which kind of sets up the world of Novia. There are no dwarves in there. There were elves, but no dwarves. So
one day they fell from the sky, and there you go. And I can tell a story.
Matthew obviously is not a fiction writer. He is a science writer. He wrote a book about science, not about fiction. So anyway, let's see. Dax Diggler asks, where did the Dark Star follicular reliquary sample come from? I'm not sure what you mean by sample, but the actual box, the reliquary box, we bought from, believe it or not, there is a company that makes reliquaries. And so that's where we bought that from. But I'm not, the sample itself, I shaved my mustache by putting glue in it so it would stay all together. So, oh, unless you mean the little plastic sample. Oh, maybe that's what you mean. Hold on, I'll show you what that was from.
It's in the office somewhere.
So maybe what you meant was like because like when we wanted to show it off, we wanted to show what it would look like with a little mustache in there. And when I first grew my handlebar mustache back when I was at Disney, my senior producer Sarah Lowry, for a present, got me a bunch of these straws with little built-in mustaches, handlebar mustaches. And so,
Up your nose?
no. So you just like drink from the straw, and it looks like you have a little handlebar, you know.
Oh, okay.
And so, but like they'll see the little mustache pops off, and so to show what the mustache would look like in the reliquary, I just popped off, because I have a couple of these. I just popped off the mustache off the little straw that I have. So I think that's what you were referring to when you asked where did the sample come from. So that's what this is. See. So, all right. Rudyard Ratfinks asks, do you need to own a lot in a player-owned town to use the mailbox inside the bank? That is a great question. You should not need to, and if you do, if you try to and you can't, please report that as a bug and we'll try to fix it. Cray, will we be putting in any areas to harvest crafting materials where you don't have to mine? Well, technically you don't have to mine when you chop down a tree. You don't have to mine when you field dress an animal that you kill. So we've already done that, I think, if I understood the question correctly. So, oh, and I see Eclipse Maiden says she uses the mailbox in any town. So I think that works already. So I think she answered your question, Rudyard. All right. And thanks. I'm going to let these guys get into the actual content streaming stuff. And good to see all of you guys. And hopefully we'll see some of you at RTX.
Yeah, we're gonna try a live stream at RTX too. We're gonna see how the bandwidth and the internet connection is there. But we'll be there all weekend from the 7th to the 9th,
Yep.
Friday to Sunday. I'll be there roaming around, meeting all of you guys that happen to be able to attend, taking pictures of the booth, putting them up on social, on twitter.com/shroudofavatar, and hopefully that live stream. So we'll see how it goes.
Yes.
Thanks,
Goodbye.
Until we meet again. Oh, and can you get, never mind. I got them right here. We're good.
I'll get nevermind.
Okay, excellent. All right, so let's get to it. What do you got to show? Oh wait, I want to give away prizes. Prizings, and then we'll roll into another set of prizes immediately afterwards. So we gave away one 2017 replenishing Lord British birthday cake. That's quite a mouthful. The cake's really good. So, all right, that goes to. Oh, you know what? Okay, I made a mistake. I apologize. I hope you guys aren't upset with me. Please don't be upset with me, but I was supposed to only give away, well, this was my rule anyway. I was only going to give away one of these, but I wrote down 2 names because I was so excited. So we're just going to do 2 for all these prizes, whatever. So there's 2 birthday cakes, one to Gwek on Discord and one to Falcon's Lantern on Twitch. There you go. Happy Lord British birthday cake. Enjoy it. And then let's give away I don't know, which one of those? We'll do one of these. the kobold. Yeah, it looks really cool in the store. So the first backpack, I think it is ornate anyway. Ornate backpack in the store, a couple of releases ago, was really popular. I love it. So we made another one, an ornate kobold backpack. Check it out in the store. It's listed somewhere in the middle of all of everything, and it is kind of an enhanced version almost of the regular ornate
They keep
backpack.
getting larger.
Yeah, there's like
them,
more
but they're
like
really
boxes
cool,
and
yeah.
bags and stuff on it. It's
There's
like when
even more
you're
stuff.
gonna like fall over from. Don't pack too heavy of items in it, you'll fall over. So it's an ornate kobold backpack. Type exclamation backpack for a chance to win one of those. And if I accidentally write down two names again, well, so be it. And if you win, whether it's on Discord or Twitch, if it's on Discord, message me, Barrick, your account name and what you won. And if you're on Twitch, message Shroud of the Avatar what you won and your account name as well. Otherwise, I won't know who you are possibly in the game because your Discord name or your Twitch name may be different from what you have in the game, and obviously without a connection, can't award you, sorry. So please just let us know. All right, continue. And we
download,
yeah, I don't know how much you have to show. Oh, we got time. We're good. Every time I load these up with like 3 developers. We have Travis, and then we've got Seawolf, and then Scott. Hopefully Scotty. If we don't get around to Scotty, we've got the mini telethon next week on Thursday.
Yeah, that'll be lots of time.
And they'll be showing some really cool stuff too. For R43 stuff you can see already in the game, but also I think some R44 stuff. Scotty or Riot? The community will riot well.
Scotty's coming on later, isn't he?
Hopefully, but we do tend to keep a schedule for this. I mean, we could stream like forever, but it's really pretty. Wow, it's like totally enhanced. I've seen the screenshots. I didn't get a chance to get in here and see the new changes though. So we're looking at Isle of Storms, right? This is the beginning scene.
Yeah, the very first scene in the game. Hutch and Damon and I did a pass on this. We have a lot more stuff since this was first created, so we just added a lot more stuff. There's a new Arabella model. I think she looks great from the character team.
Yeah, we had Arabella. I was going to say Isle of Arabella, which, sure. Arabella was her screenshot and a sketch fab of her as well put in the last week's update. All the stuff, by the way, guys, that we're showing today can be reviewed if you want to learn more about the backstory and lore in the last weekly update.
Yeah, so this is all live. Our chickens are all done for this. We just got some new rocks since then and some new ivy and made it more magic, more ethereal, I guess. Follow the path down to the mirror. Everybody knows the mirror. Say how you look.
This is the path back to Arabella.
Yeah. So kind of everything got a little love on the path.
Arabella's down this path.
Oh yeah, we also got
I don't,
volumetric lighting on the sun. That's really cool.
If there's any audio going out of whack, please let us know. We try to keep the sound of the game itself down low so you can hear us, but we try to give just a little bit so that you guys can hear some of the stuff that's going on there.
Yeah, kind of everything got. This is gonna be a short tour. We're almost there.
That's all right. We got 5 minutes for everybody else, or 5 per or 10 or something.
To the Oracle. I don't know if everybody knew this. I kind of just found it later.
Spoiler alert.
You can see the planet's cool, so we try to make it a little more visible for people who wanted to.
Is that Earth?
No, this is where are you going? And I don't know the name of the physical world. It's not Novia, that's the continent, but
Vulcan.
It's the world that the game takes place on. Is it really? No, it's not.
Vulcan. Sure. Romulus.
Blue drinks. Yeah, that's the new improvement pass on here.
No game audio whatsoever. Well, that's probably for the best because usually we accidentally crank it too loud. I mean, we can turn it. Is there anything playing?
Music.
Yeah, just the music. It's just the music, really. If we get into a fight randomly, not here on camera, in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it does happen once in a while, in the halls randomly. People,
We'll play a
yeah,
soundtrack.
it happens. Yeah, we'll play a soundtrack then.
Oh, there's a way to get volumetric lights on back here, but I forget the command.
Okay. So this is live. R43. There is Arabella. She's just standing there waiting to greet you. If you're a new player, this is the first scene that you will see when logging into the game. If you have any questions about it, we have what are called hospitalers in the game. Anybody can be a hospitaler. It's really just turn on the tag and you are ready to help other players. Once you get past this scene, you'll enter the main world. They're called New Britannia, and you have the main continent, Novia, where most of the player-owned towns and cities and activity is occurring. And you'll see people walking to and fro, maybe being chased by a monster or two. It happens, or another player in some cases. There's separation of PvP and PvE depending on where you are. But ask any questions you guys have in the forums or on Discord. Discord chat is the main community chat channel. You can find how to get to that in the forums as well.
Yeah, they're super helpful.
Yeah, that's what's so great about this community. The chat here for Discord and Twitch, we are watching it. If you guys have questions for any of the developers that are popping in today. Is there anything else? Otherwise, we can go summon.
We can get somebody
the
else.
Next guy.
I don't think Boreas would be a very good tour since it'd be nothing but spoilers since you have to solve a puzzle to get from room to room to room.
Oh,
so.
that's right, yeah.
Not that people haven't already done that in their Twitches.
I wonder if
but we're
somebody
not
finished that already.
Yeah, people have already on the first day.
Oh, okay.
Who should I grab? Scotty or
yeah, go ahead and grab actually grab Seawolf. We're gonna show just a little bit of Graph Gem Mines.
Okay.
All right, thanks. All right, so we have the backpack. I'll give that away. Congratulations to Cambion Star on Twitch. You may be on Discord as well, but the way this works is it kind of tells me where it's coming from. Cambion Star, congrats on winning that ornate oval backpack. We also have a couple more items to give away, and I guess we'll have to wait because here is Seawolf. Hey man, how you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Good, we're rolling along nicely here. We're actually in the game. I don't know, since I know you wanted to work with Unity, and we can still do that if you like. It's ready to go behind the game. But
we can work in here.
Yeah, we're in the game right now, and we figure, show what they can.
Oh, that frame rate's so much better.
Oh yeah, especially we've done performance improvements. We're still doing performance improvements. That will be an ongoing process while we're in early access here and even afterwards. We're always tweaking. We realize that some scenes, were slower in the past and have been improved, and it maybe, it's still a little slow, but playable now. And we're making those improvements in the next, read the Q3 update that Star put out just a little while ago, and yesterday, and it has details on also some performance improvements that we're making to the scenes. But yeah, the load times have increased a little bit. The general performance has certainly increased in most scenes, and it just makes it a better play experience.
All right.
So we're in Graph Gem Mines.
We are in Graph Gem Mines. So today I'm going to show some updates that have been made to these mines, if I can find them, because I'm a little lost. These mines always confuse me.
That's good.
I always get confused.
Because if you get used to it, then it's like, well, I don't know where to go.
Here we go.
There we go.
All right, I know where I am. So I've added about 50% of the map, 50% to the map. I'm not.
You might, go and
You're
gonna kill me. This is my character. What's going on here?
No, I'm in ghost mode, right?
No.
Yes, I am. I am now.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh, there you are. Okay. I was going to summon the community to because we're in the live server right now to come and help out here.
So those who have played Graph Gem Mines probably recognize this area down below. Right, there's an exit over there. Not right there. Right? That way leads to an exit. So I added a kind of section over here, and this area is meant to be a little bit more difficult. We have some water elementals hanging around here, and it's actually interconnected throughout the mine. There's three additional tunnels that connect So these lead back up into the mines. We have some kobolds, and there's also a ton of crystal ore nodes, and there's a few iron, or not iron, I think it's copper. Copper and possibly gold. I can't remember.
What level or what's skill base would you really need to be to handle it, to be able to mine and fend off those creatures?
I mean, it's not particularly difficult. It's maybe a little harder. I think I upped them up by 1 tier. I don't remember what tier this is. Is it tier 5? What's that?
Yeah, I'm not sure actually.
I think mines are usually tier 5.
Community usually, when we don't know, the community corrects us. So
I don't remember. So it's not a whole lot to show. Some kind of cool areas. One of the things we really wanted was bigger areas for fighting, especially indoors, in mines and things like that. So instead of adding a bunch of small sections to the mine, we decided just to add one huge one where players really have a lot of room to fight.
Yeah, there you go. So there's some crystal.
Yeah, there's plenty of crystal or gem nodes.
And what is it? Those crystal and gem nodes. What do they use for?
Different things, like just crafting in general.
Mining large emerald crystal. So what's the purple one? Go to that one. Yeah, amethyst. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's probably amethyst.
So to get to the graph gem mines, where do you have to go?
You have to go to graph gem mines.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's in the graph area. Because you have port graph.
We're in the so you've got here's Novia, this area.
Yeah.
And where?
I want to say it's in the northeast, if I have my directions correct.
Northeast.
I know where it is on the map. My directions get a little mixed up. So it's near that.
I'm like waving my hand around, right?
If I had a map, I could show
So
you.
northeast, right? Okay, so here's Novia.
Don't call me
Where's
on that.
my,
I could actually.
we have like maps all over the walls. Anyway, Novia, and you as a new player, you will the newer area, the southeast. Generally where you start, so you go pretty much straight north if it's.
I feel like it's northeast, or out, but I also keep feeling like it's near Sequana.
You know where we could find out? Sodamap.
Yeah.
Go to sodamap.com. Seriously, sodamap.com. If you don't know
Someone
where you're
correct
going,
us, because I feel like I'm wrong now.
it's sodamap.com. Yeah, there's so many areas
the desert.
now.
I feel like it's near, maybe not Sequana Colossus, maybe.
It's over by
That's super
Spite.
close.
Yeah, Clips Maiden says it's by Spite. Yeah, so there you go. You get to the graph
I know it's near
mines
Blood
from
Bay.
entering Blood Bay, one of our relatively new scenes, and then exiting to the Overland map again. There you go. Community rescue. Thank you, guys. All right. Anything else to show?
No, not really. We showed Celestis last time. So
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, if you want to see any of the community live streams that we've had recorded, go to youtube.com/portalarium. It goes under our company name, and you can see all of the videos that we recorded. Now, quick note, for last community's live stream, I didn't get it on YouTube yet. It's still on Twitch, so go ahead and it'll be in the weekly update, but you can go to the archives here on Twitch in the video tab, and you'll see the last week's live stream about some questing stuff that we talked about. Some really cool stuff, too. All right, well, you want to go ahead and get Scotty for me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thanks for popping in there. Let's see what else we got here. We've got a couple more items to give away, and I believe I already announced the backpack. So let's give away. We've got the ornate bulletin board and ornate post-mounted mailbox. Ooh, that's a tough call. These are new items that we just put into the game since release 43 went live. The bulletin board is a nice large, it acts as a wall essentially. You get 10 of these flyers with the bulletin board when you get the bulletin board, and then you can craft more of these flyers afterwards if you run out. And you can put them right on the bulletin board. It shows right on the bulletin board when you place one, wherever you want in that flat area of the bulletin board. People walk by. Hey, Scotty.
Hey.
I'm just describing the bulletin board that we just put into the game, and I want to give away. I think we're gonna give away that next. It's a really cool like wall-mounted bulletin board system for
yeah.
placing outside of your home or town somewhere and putting notes on it for passerbys. So a good use of this bulletin board is if you say got one of the new inns that we just put into the game. These inns are able to use the rent system. Once the rent system is actually fully activated, that won't actually be until release 44. We hoped it would have been for this release, but there was some other things that would, community feedback we really wanted to get right and just make sure it was settled.
Of course.
So that'll be release 44. But you can get the inn now, start decorating it, preparing it, to get it ready for the guests who are going to come flooding in release 44. And the bulletin board would be perfect to put out in front of the inn and use as a incoming or rent coming in R44. If you wish to rent a room, please see blah blah blah, and or whatever else. If it's in a player-owned town, you can use it for any events or things that are happening. So I'm really excited about it because one of the things that I always, and this is why we have these community live streams, one of the things I always try to do is suggest to the developers, us, and bring the community's feedback or anything I just think that's really cool that increases the communication between the community, between themselves. And the bulletin board system certainly does that.
Of course. So yeah, I recall it being discussed at one point in time, the idea that there were people who love to decorate in different areas and wanted to carry entire caravans of stuff, basically from one area to another, but they themselves weren't fighters or warriors and weren't necessarily well equipped to defend themselves while carrying sort of this valuable merchandise to some other place to decorate with. And how cool it was to be able to talk to people or send messages out to folks, literally publicly advertise that, hey, we need to, we'd like to hire warriors to protect us on our way through these really difficult to travel through areas. So yeah, that kind of stuff is great.
Speaking of that, we're in a very difficult area. Well, not so difficult actually, but we're in GM Ghost mode right now. So the kobolds cannot attack us, but we're in Grafton Mines.
Oh, good.
And just had Seawolf show us a little bit about what he has done to the mines over the last release. So we can pop over. We actually have the game obviously up right now. Unity is in the background. I don't know which one you want to use to show anything.
Well, I should probably what I should probably do is go into Unity first to kind of show you how stuff is laid out. I honestly don't know if I can play. Well, no, I may be able to play because it's
your choice.
Yeah, it's
I am
stuff.
both though. Okay, so what we should do is
show me.
Here, let me
get out of the play mode of this, and then let me pick my location.
I forget what. Well, if we're gonna just do Unity, I'm gonna actually exit the game entirely.
That's fine.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna use Unity, but then I'm gonna hit play so I can go into the game.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
The area that I'm going to be showing is something that I've already talked about on the Dev Plus thing. I don't know, how many of you guys may have seen the Dev Plus post that I made. It was pretty in depth, and it talked about the changes that I was doing to ensure that the area of the Crypt of the Avatar as closely matched the look of the book, or I should say the description in the book as possible.
Yeah, we listed that in last weekly update. And that's why you're on this time, to kind of follow up from that.
Absolutely.
There's some really, the screenshots of the crypt, just amazing. And so check out the last week's update, number 233. Okay, you got Unity, you can zone and load up and get ready wherever you like. And I am going to, I was talking about the bulletin board and I didn't even, I got sidetracked.
That's okay.
I didn't even say what the exclamation command was so that they could win a bulletin board. I didn't do that yet, guys, did I? And there's some people who are like, duh, it's supposed to be a bulletin board. So let's do exclamation bulletin board. That sounds just fine. So type that in, Discord and Twitch, and we'll actually award the darn thing to somebody. I was like, this thing is so amazing, and you can win one, and then we move on.
I'm looking at first I'm like, are you talking to? Oh, I see. There's here's the scrolling list. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate the comments. Let's see if I can get to this place now. So here we are. Now, are they able to see this? Yeah, is this what they're seeing here on the right? This whole thing right here?
Yeah, you'll have to turn. I don't know. You have the.
Oh yeah, there's just funky stuff in here. So so this whole area right here, what you're seeing, and this is odd. I've never quite seen it like this with the strange.
It's like really zoomed out.
What's the sunset background? That's okay for this.
Yeah, we were actually in just make sure everybody understands. We are now in Unity, which is our main editing tool, where this is why Scotty can pull out and see the entire map and area, the entire scene. And so we were previously in the game, partly to join the dance party and walk around and see some of the other stuff the guys were showing. But in this case, we have to go, or we'd like to go into Unity itself. That's why you see the boundary with all the. I have
The
no
grid.
idea. I have
Yeah,
a
there's
clueless
a
to what all
grid,
it
and
is.
then there's a weird
There's
sky
so
behind
many-
it for
yeah,
some strange
the
reason.
grid, the weird sky, and so just so you know, this is not what the game looks like at the moment.
Well, for those of you who stood over my shoulder and had a chance to visit with us on holidays, you've seen how our editor works to some extent. But for those who haven't, it's cool to check this out from a builder standpoint, because what you're seeing here is the entire enormous Crypt of the Avatar underground sort of installation that is the entire scene for this dungeon. And the cool thing about this is that you can sort of see a layout that no one else gets to see except the builder. And in a lot of cases, important decisions are made about the nature of this particular place. Now, we don't have a lot of time left, but I'll try to keep it snappy and kind of give you an idea of what it was that I was trying to focus on. Now, you can see the whole thing right here. And if you look where my mouse is moving, this area up here is sort of the area that you will enter into it. And if you were gallivanting around the Midras ruins, you may find an area that's sort of an old temple, hard to find, but it's over there, as the book described it, near this gigantic ancient tree. And somewhere near there, if you look around in those ruins, you'll see a hole in the floor that leads down into this chamber right here. Now, this chamber, for those of you who have seen some of the other artwork that I've made in the past in areas, is familiar. We try to reuse a lot of the same stuff so that we don't spend countless hours rebuilding areas again and again and again. But this was close enough for the purpose when the original fellow who made this map, Richard Mady, was kind of putting this together. And so that's supposed to kind of roughly estimate sort of, if you're looking up through the hole that you would normally be seeing with sunlight sort of streaming through the ruins above it in the Midras Ruins map. But from here, you can now see the interior space. And the cool thing about this, you can see there's like little green blocks. Those are where creatures spawn, or in this case, NPCs that will talk to you. The idea of this whole area, to give you a little bit of history, is that 200 years before, when Midras was razed essentially by the Obsidian armies, when General Karpasic came in and essentially just took all the citizens hostage, those who he didn't kill, imprisoned them. Some of them were taken off to be reshaped, and then the entire ruined city was looted, and he was going to have this wonderful parade in honor of himself. And while he sent Sienna and Aaron Bennis off to go and kind of pick a good route for this victory parade, they came upon the ruins of this temple, and they fled into it at one point. And were checking it out and discovered this. They actually fell through part of it, which is what this hole is, and landed in this chamber. Now, when Richard Mady originally made it, we were doing it quickly. It was made from like bits and pieces from other maps and things like that. But the people noticed that, well, hey, that doesn't really look like it was described in the book. So part of me wanted to take the time to make sure that specifically the imagery described was represented. So you have this dais upon which rests this ornate-looking sarcophagus, the lid of which had fallen off and was laying down part of the stairs and in the rubble. And at first he didn't even notice it. The coffin itself, at the time, 200 years before, was empty completely. And they thought they were going to find something wonderful in it, considering that this sarcophagus was made of dark granite and inlaid with both jade and gold and precious jewels. You can see that the jewels on this side actually form a really cool symbol, which they note in the book, and it is sort of a more ancient symbol of the three principles with their relationship to the virtues as kind of perceived in the jewels that you see. But with the coffin being empty, Aaron Bennis was nonplussed until he nearly tripped over this lid. And the lid of the sarcophagus is really where the treasure lay. It too, inlaid with jade and with gold, represented a figure that they had never seen before. And of course, those of you who might recognize the figure would know that this is really an effigy of Richard.
Yeah, I actually, when I was promoting fun fact here, when I was promoting birthday telethon.
Oh, yes.
And a lot of the things that we've been promoting this week,
Upcoming
like
soon.
the flash sales and the new round of flash sales actually that we're about to put out. We use this image as the hey, come celebrate Lord Bridges' birthday, and someone on, I think it was Facebook, someone said, hey, that's kind of funny and odd that you would use a coffin lid to. And I didn't make the connection. I was like, hey, that's a really cool image. You got to use that for this.
Yes, the
So-
image of his death effigy.
Yeah. So happy birthday.
But the idea being, of course, that that people are throwing around rumors. Oh, well, it just means that Lord British, what does it mean? Has he returned from the grave? Well, if we were to look at the idea of reincarnation, perhaps he's simply, our Lord British is merely the reincarnation of an ancient avatar long ago, and that's what this coffin is meant to represent. And the whole temple above it and the whole area of the tombs below it were meant to be the avatar from ancient times, and then all the retainers and the lineage of the noble people representing the virtues who were then buried afterwards. Now, the sword, the blade of Midras, was actually cradled here in his hands, in this little. You can kind of see it. There's like a hole there in his hands leading
Where'd the
down.
sword go?
The sword is gone, and it was taken 200 years ago by the hero Aaron Bennis of the Sword of Midras, and that was the sword he then took and fled with. Carpasic wanted the sword. It was beautiful and it had a lot of power, but that power also caused Carpasic to freak out a little bit when he touched it, because it reveals the true inner essence to themselves, and he couldn't handle the truth of what a monster he was. So Carpasic,
I can't handle my truth.
but you're your own monster. But Aaron Bennis could, and every time Aaron Bennis used it for the purposes of the virtues, then the principles that his actions represented would glow, and the sword, the symbol of the sword in the actual pommel of the blade itself, which you can also see represented here, that gem would glow and light up and do some other cool stuff. Now,
Redfish says resurrection chamber, just like the pharaohs in Stargate. I couldn't love that show more.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It's a good show.
Well, cool. Hopefully the opulence of this tomb kind of does it too. And so, of course, it also represents that while they're looking at the sarcophagus, of course, here now 200 years later, someone has decided to take it upon themselves to place a body in here anyway. And as it just so happens, a book about the principles, 3 principles. So it's kind of fun. Obviously, people know what this is for. But the other thing that you'll discover when you go in here, and I can go ahead and do this. Let's do this right now real quickly. Let's see if it'll let us play. And if it lets us play, then you can see kind of more of what's going on with this place. Because the 2 NPCs that are in here are actually these kind of monstrous beings that seem to have somehow retained their mind. And the reason that they've done this is because this was sort of a holy place, a virtuous place. And they're what's left over of the forces that were trying to ward off the obsidian.
We'll have to move the. Let's do escape.
Mm-hmm.
Escape. There it is.
What are you trying to
Move
do?
the master slider just a little bit. Wiggle it. There
Yeah.
you go. That's it.
Oh, I see.
It does the weird audio maximize
Oh,
thing, and
I
then
see.
it blows out everybody's ears who's watching it. And
Well, here, so yeah, well, that would
We're
be
good now.
unfortunate. So here, let's. I think I may have to put a. Let's see, can I do this? Yeah. Oh, can I take it? Get it in my hand here real quick. Inventory, because I need a torch.
All right, well, while you're looking for that, I'll give away this bulletin board. Congrats to Arius, Arieus. Congrats, Arius. You got the first bulletin board that we're giving away, at least. Somebody else probably everybody, but there you go. We have one more item to give away, and that's the post-mounted mailbox, which we will do so right at the end, and Scotty will be the one to pick the winner on that.
Oh, cool. You'll have to help me when that happens.
Sure.
So again, if you've been into Hilt, you see that some of these ancient chambers and such here mirror the look of the Hilt Fortress. Of course, that was us trying to reuse older art that's been made. But of course, the idea behind this, though, is that Carpasic himself was enamored of the old world, but primarily its architecture. So you'll see evidence later that that the obsidian stuff ended up being created too because of that. Now, Samiel is going to talk to me here, and I'm just going to say farewell. I really don't need him to do any of the stuff for me, because what I want to do is I'm going to wander around. And I guess I should go into God mode as well, too. Let's see, how do I do that? Let me see.
Well, you are in ghost mode, so
Oh, I'm in ghost
yeah,
mode?
there's
Does he
nothing.
talk to me?
Oh, yeah, no. Well,
So here,
nothing should attack you.
let me just say God mode true, and then we can get out of here
There you go.
and know that they won't be doing anything to me. But coming up here in this chamber and looking down, you'll get a really good view of the sarcophagus itself, and then the two NPCs. And the reason why you can talk to them and they don't attack you is because they've been able to keep their mind through the centuries that have passed since that time, and they realize what's happened here. They'll tell you that the last vestiges of the forces that were trying to defend the Obsidians, they died in anguish, and their vengefulness keeps their spirits alive to this day. And they will they want to attack anyone that dares enter into this place. And so part of what you need to do is go down into the depths of it, past all the symbolism of the ancient virtues, which you can see adorning the walls and the ceiling. You can see it even on the chest of the statue, and it mimics, of course, the stuff that's on the armor of the avatar that you can see in the effigy. But once you go deeper and deeper into here, it gets more dangerous. You'll still see those symbols, so you know you're in the right place. But the undead will be everywhere, and it's because they still think they're trying to defend this place from the ancient Obsidians, and they have no rest. Part of what you're supposed to do when you go down here is you find a fellow that will give you essentially the last one of the last statements of the people who defended this place before they died. And if you can do what you're told to do, then eventually you'll be able to kind of put hopefully these spirits at rest, or at least you'll finish the quest that kind of alleviates the mystery of what happened to all these people in here. But all of these were ancient crypts made to service Midras during its years of glory long ago. Yeah,
I think he's fighting something else, isn't he?
Maybe. Oh, he's trying to kill. He's trying to kill your little spirit talker companion. But the deeper you go into this place, then the nature of it changes, and we're actually still in debate right now about what we want to do about that, because long ago when Matey built it, he was trying to create a really cool adventure dungeon, but they never imagined he would make a place so huge. And so once you go down here and find the last bits of the crypts you see here, again, they were meant to be part of the crypt complex underneath the temple in Midras, then it breaks open into an area that is unlike any of the other things that are in there. And of course, I noticed this. It's like this huge cavern that leads up into, up into, more cracked holes. None of this really is related to anything that you can find in Midras ruins, which is for me kind of bothersome. You can't find that hole anywhere up above, and I like to have I like to have things consistent. And then it leads down into these, terrible chambers that don't look anything like a temple of the virtues. And so we're trying to decide now how we want to deal with that. We really don't need this to be this big, but if we do want a huge adventure area, then the story of the fiction behind that could be, and these are the two different ways we could deal with this. And we're still deciding right now. So one way or the other, we're going to make this all make sense. But there seems to be a weird temple to almost evil necromancy and dark powers. And when you go down in here, it could be said that, well, maybe the soldiers above never found rest because the Obsidians, that kind of scared me. I don't know what just happened.
Yeah,
scared the heck out of me.
Yeah.
So is that when the Obsidians looted this place, maybe long ago when the original temple was built, they dug deeper and deeper to make their crypts and catacombs, but then they broke into some terrible place that they didn't even know was already here, some horrible, monument to death. Because when you walk down these hallways and you look through any of these doors and passages leading out, you will find some really strange and scary stuff that you'd never imagine. There are pools of blood with skeletons drinking from it. You'd never imagine that this would be in a crypt of the virtues. So obviously when the original virtue temple builders dug down, they found some horrible crypts devoted to evil and necromancy and bloodletting. On the other side of this path, you can also see this other chamber that, again, it's like who knows who could have built this, but this is obviously some weird place of terrible dark magic and despair, because you'll find lich statues adorning this place, and a weird torture hall that was also some meeting place of dark magic. You climb around in this place and you'll actually kick those skulls around. They have sort of some physics attached to them. You can kind of see them rolling around and being kicked around. Again, none of this seems to bespeak the virtues at all. So one wonders where this came from. And of course, I'm sure that if we go with that fiction, the builders of the original temple would have wondered where this came from too. Especially when you go by the very last of this area and you see the final chamber in here, which is currently where the NPC that you need to fulfill the quest with resides. This final chamber is obviously some kind of chapel, a chapel devoted to evil and death. You can see all the pews on either side.
My kind of chapel.
Is that your kind of place? You feel at home
I
here.
feel
is
home.
what you're
Yeah,
saying.
this is very comfortable.
But it's in this place currently that you find the NPC, and it's one of the horrible creatures that normally would have dwelt beneath Desolus and the Desolus ruins. But he will give you the piece of paper that you need to take back up, and it's the last testament of one of the defenders of this place. So, and one of the people literally mentioned in the sort of Midrash. So if you can kind of show him, if you can kind of get this from him and show the people up above what happened, then you sort of will help sort of solve the mystery of this place. But of course, that still doesn't solve the mystery of these crazy chambers that look so dedicated to evil and death and bloodshed. And so we have one of two options. We're either going to explain it that, of course, the Obsidians, when they wanted to come in and loot this place, dug a little bit too deep looking for more buried treasure and came upon these same sealed ancient evil chambers that were sealed up so long ago, and actually sealed up with the magic of the virtues, which is why the actual temple itself, where the Avatar's crypt is, those beings have kept their right mind. They've remained sane enough to speak to you and then ask you for your help. Whereas, if you come all the way down here and deal with this, you're actually also dealing with the font of the power that has kept these undead things alive all this time, that and their burning hatred for the invaders. But if you can lay that to rest, then that's kind of cool, and you know that somewhere down below, probably either a Napas or some other evil being in our game had horrible crypts devoted to death long ago.
Oh, and you can get back up there.
Well, you can't.
Oh,
get
you
back.
went over there.
Yeah, I went a little too far. This is the area. So you'll notice the difference, right? All these areas look like the normal crypts you'd expect to find under a temple, despite the fact that they're infested with undead. Those other areas are areas of absolute evil. Now, the other option, of course, is if we don't want the dungeon to be this big, we'll just move the NPC up, put it at the bottom of the normal crypts, and then move those weird chambers of death and evil to another map, and then eventually use them for another adventure zone. We haven't decided on it yet, so eventually you all will see that change once the decision is made. But hopefully you all enjoyed sort of an idea of what all that work I did recently was.
And if anybody would like to start a forum thread on discussing some of these areas now, obviously we have other detailed plans and reasons why we make changes, why we split up maps, or why we keep them together, like Scotty was talking about, which option are we going to choose. Feel free to discuss in the forums on what you see here today with that idea, and what do you feel the lore should lead to. And we read everything in the forums, and that's part of the development of the game is with you guys.
Absolutely. Who knows? Folks might have a lot of fun going into those deeper areas, and
I know Richard really loves to read a lot of the lore and story. I mean, he's focused on a lot of that stuff, single player experience too. So he's always in the forums. He doesn't always respond, because not time to always respond to everybody.
A billion messages a day.
Reading is another matter, yeah.
So anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this. The main part that I did is, of course, kind of revamping the stuff in here to make sure it made sense based on the book. And then I took a pass through all the other areas, which had been sort of hastily put together long ago, to make sure that all the modular building errors were fixed, and certain areas that didn't make visual sense or looked too cluttered were kind of cleaned up a bit and made a little more apparent. And then a few major errors were fixed.
We have a couple of questions coming in here. Seamus asks, tell us what this avatar is wearing.
Oh, this avatar here? You mean?
I believe so.
Or the fellow I'm playing?
Yeah, just like what you happen to be wearing at the moment.
Oh, well, this avatar right now is wearing one of the really cool vests and pieces of armor created by Fletcher. I'm not sure what this is called. We'd have to ask Fletcher.
I don't know if that's actually in the game yet.
Let me see. Does it indicate on my character?
Spoiler alert.
Let me see. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. What does it say? First of all, it's a Kabbalist Temna hood. So it's it's a hood taken from one of the Kabbalists, which in this case is Temna, and I forget what his purpose is. But then we have, let's see.
The
assassin's chest armor.
It looks a little different from over here, but yeah, there you go. So that was just released. You can get the assassin's set. It's 4 pieces, as you see there.
Yeah.
There is a short version as well.
Assassin's bracers and assassin's boots. So yeah, he's outfitted in full assassin gear, which is really good looking. Fletcher did a great job.
Yeah, I think
with
the hood threw me off there. I didn't recognize that at first. I took screenshots of the assassin's armor and the short version of the armor. They're now in the store.
Well, and it looks like the icons right now either don't match or that this has been maybe dyed or something. I don't know. I'll have to
it's
ask.
a little bit of a different color too.
Yeah,
a lot of the armor, a lot of things are dyeable. In fact, we are working on updating the stuff that's in the store, there's a lot of craftable stuff too, but the stuff that's in the store, not everything has an actual dye icon that lets people know this is dyeable, and we're working on updating those.
Kigu Starfish has indicated that Temna is despise, the opposite of compassion, and which is symbolized by the broken moon. So if you go, not the broken moon, but there's one the particular moon of despise, which is the sort of the shattered half moon that's been broken, and you can kind of see that in his mask. That's what that's meant to represent. That's the symbols that I developed for all the different sort of pseudo undead.
He's
lords.
waving at us. Look at that.
Yes.
Yeah, he's very lonely.
I find that fun.
Let's give away that last prize.
Okay.
So it's an ornate post-mounted mailbox. And it's a slightly different version of the wall mailbox. We have 2 mailboxes right now available, at least those in the store. This is the post-mounted one. Type exclamation mailbox if you want to win one of those. Last prize of the day.
Oh, exclamation mailbox. Okay.
Yeah. No,
We'll just do it?
You know, they need to do. They need
Oh,
to
them.
do,
Okay.
To win it.
I thought
You're
you were
not
telling-
winning anything.
I thought you were telling me to do something.
You don't get to win anything.
Oh,
Live stream.
see how I'm treated.
Should we give it to Scotty instead? We only have one available.
No, I don't.
Would
need
you
one.
guys? I bet you they would be willing to give it to you because they love you so much.
I do not need a mailbox. It should be given to someone else.
All right. Well, while that's going on, we'll give that just like a minute. If you have anything else you wanted to mention about this scene or any other scenes, any previews of R44 stuff you're now working on, whatever you like to say.
Well, I have no previews to show, but I can say this, that having moved on from this area and kind of polished it up to the best of my ability, there's still probably some more stuff that could be fixed, but but we can touch that later as we find the missing elements or problem areas. But I've moved now on to Exeter. If you all remember, those of you who were around in the earlier days, I also created the Exeter Crag Mines and did all those adventure zones. And then the history of Exeter leading up to the mines, which is pretty interesting because Exeter long ago was a pirate town, basically, but only after it was a sort of an oceanside town that was a mining town that had developed there specifically because of the trade going around the bend and the coast there, led to the easiest route down from the Exeter Crag mines to sell goods and such and trade them for the bounty found inside the mines. So it was a mining town first, and then enough gold and filthy lucre began to kind of flow through the town that pirates became sort of involved, and so there's a lot of piracy around there, and the pirates would meet in this town. So it kind of got that Pirates of the Caribbean sort of well, I should say early shanty made from like the bits and pieces. So imagine pirates then moving in an area that was largely a mining town and sort of developing it and coexisting with the existing miners. But then eventually the pirates themselves realized that the mining town, it was easier to trade and to get filthy rich from trade than it was to do piracy at the time, especially because the Bay of Storms is so difficult to navigate. There's so many storms, and you can easily die just trying to be out there to be a pirate. Mm-hmm. So they decided that trade was more lucrative, and so then it became that kind of Pirates of the Caribbean sort of place where you end up having filthy rich pirates starting to build really fancy houses for themselves because they're sort of retiring there now. And that's how that whole area kind of built up. Now, that whole area also has a hint of the same core culture that caused the kind of Norgard culture to later on develop on its own. And so that's why you have in the book you have mentioned shield maidens and things like that, guards and other elements that are almost Norse-like in a way, like the Norgard culture is, because it sort of was given birth to in this area. But then it became more medieval after a while and less Norse barbaric, if you can put it into those terms. And the cool thing about that, becoming less Viking-y, is that it then started to take on little elements of the Gothic architecture that you later find in like Brittany and things like that, mixed with some of the Arctic castle sort of asset pieces. So I'm going back in there now to make sure that the descriptions of the places, including, because we're talking 200 years after the Obsidians, before they were defeated, washed in over that place, because that's the place where this great council was held, where the nations attempted to stop the Obsidian Empire and try to come up with a plan to do so, which is the heart of what was happening there during the book. But when the Obsidians rolled in, that had to go away. So they destroyed the Baroness's Keep. They destroyed the stockade, which was across it, left most of the people there because, of course, people needed to live there to mine, and the Obsidians certainly wanted to take advantage of that. But they also moved in some of their creatures. So the satyrs were brought in along with their fawns, and because the satyrs were sort of their tough men, they're basically control the town while the Obsidians were in power. But then the Obsidians fell. The Obsidians fell, leaving behind the satyrs and the fawns, and so now the satyrs were on their own, but they had established enough sort of culturally with the existing town people over a long enough period of occupation that they were actually okay staying. And so now they were free, though, free from the Obsidian rule. So now the satyrs, as well as the fawns, continue to occupy that town along with human beings, and then and it continues to be a very lucrative trade port. Even though it's a fairly small town. It's a small town, small map, but players live there, right, obviously, and there are still nice houses. Obviously, the trade is still good, and the satyrs are still hanging around. So that is what I'm trying to bring back into it, including elements that point back to 200 years ago, when you had, all the different characters that, if you call the sister of one of the main characters lived up on the hill in a little cottage. So I want to make sure that cottage is there. I want to make sure the cottage is there. You can still see it. Someone else may live in it these days. Obviously, 200 years have passed, but you can still see where the cottage is. You can still see the ruins of the Baroness's Keep and the stockade. And then it's mixed with the player houses.
Yeah, let us know, guys, if you are living there right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I've gone in there to look at it, check it out and kind of see what changes I want to make. I'm not going to go into the extreme amount of depth that I did with Xenos, but I do want to polish it up because it's been a while since that map's been made and it needs a little love.
I'm sure they'll appreciate that. I know we've been getting questions from a lot of players on some of these scenes if they're going to be uncloned at some point and polished up, and we do have a list of everything, and we're working our way down the list. So it's just a matter of time.
Someone's asking if these skeletons. Looks like Keegan Starfish is asking if the skeletons are related to Eddie, the zombie found in Libris. Well, they're the skeletons in here. They come from a really wide kind of variety of skeletons made again and now redressed up by Fletcher. So yeah, there's probably some visual similarities in them.
We have a question from Liz Lewiz. Any chance some of the mines will remain nice and simple? Well, I suppose nice and simple is all perspective. I don't know. I'm not sure how nice and simple. We always like to add a little spice to the adventure. Good question. I don't know the answer myself. You can ask Star in the forums.
That's right. That's probably a good thing to do. Now, I can tell you this. If you're looking for a simple mine, that definitely is not the Exeter Crag mines because those things are complex and deep and
we do have a variety.
Crazy.
It's not like we do consider, okay, where, what player base level, and is this for new players? Is this for, a 5-skull area that we want to develop, or
right.
On the other end of the spectrum, and so we are trying to balance in regards to how difficult things are and who is able to do what, so that everybody has something to do that's fun. That's very generalized, obviously. I was like that's like super generalized, but that is what we're trying to do. All right, we have a winner here for the mailbox.
Does that say Shadow Rice?
Shadow
Vice.
Yes.
Vice. Okay, so apparently our winner is, and I'm hoping that the spelling is correct on this, Shadow Vice.
Congrats, Shadow Vice, for winning the last item of the day, the post-mounted mailbox. So that's everything for today. If you did win something, please message me, Barrick. If you're in Discord, let me know what you won and your account name, and do the same on Twitch. Message Shroud of the Avatar. Let me know what you won and your account name. Or your character name. I say account name, and that's not the same thing as a character name, but if you give me your character name, I will be able to find you, most likely anyway, and be able to award you the prize, because we have a long...
Someone's calling you.
Yeah, somebody's calling. Wow. Somebody may be dialing into one of the robots here. It's a long weekend for us. We will be here on Monday, but we do have 4th of July.
Oh, that's right. Happy Independence Day, everybody.
And so we'll try to get those prizes to you sometime early next week. But we also have the Lord British Summer,
That's right.
Lord British Birthday Bash.
His birthday bash.
Mini telethon, 6 hours. 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock on Thursday Central Time. So we're going to be focusing on that, getting ready for it next week. And then immediately after that, on Friday through Sunday, I don't know if you're going, but we're going to be at RTX here in Austin.
I will be there. In fact, you still got to decide if you're going to go there on Friday afternoon.
I most likely will, which, thank you for reminding me, no live stream this Friday. Next Friday, obviously, not this Friday because we're doing it right now. Next Friday afternoon, because we have the telethon the day before, and we don't want to worry you out on live streams, because Saturday we're hoping to live stream on the show floor at RTX. This is a almost PAX dense event. It's like 68,000 some people that are going to be attending. It's right here in Austin.
That's right.
It's going to be really a lot of fun. We're going to be walking around the show floor. We'll show you, just kind of like what's going on, and also obviously what's going on at our booth and who is visiting, which developers are there, and speaking of what was the scene name again?
Exeter.
Exeter. Et cetera, et cetera.
Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That is why it's named that way, actually.
So there you go. If you if you're going to be in Austin, you're going to attend the event, please let us know. But we'll try to get that live stream up, so we're gonna focus on that, and that'll likely be Saturday afternoon when the hall is crazy busy.
Awesome.
It's going to be interesting. Yep.
Well, hey, again, you all have a great weekend, and thanks guys for indulging me in your time and interest in the areas that I've built and will be building. I'm glad you all appreciate my storytelling. That was an awesome comment, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon. Take care.
Thanks, Scotty.
Sure, you're welcome. Do I need to bring anyone else in?
Nope, that is it. We are ending the live stream. Everybody have a good long holiday weekend, or just a great weekend in general. Let us know in the forums what you think of release 43, so we can take your feedback and make it better for the next release. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.